Hello, everyone. A very logical day to all of you. What we are going to take today is the article from the editorial page, the first article, major article from the editorial page. If you go about the style of that passage, it would be informative because there's a lot of data given. It could be a narrative style because it is coming up with the chronology of those events. And it could also be an analytical style. So it's a mix of informative plus narrative plus analytical style because the passage is a lengthy one, of course, because it is that article. And it is also analyzing all about what that education what that information technology rules and all about that. So I think when you are going through this, you can jot down a few notes also according to the articles that are related to it. So हो सकता है तुमने वो पढ़े हुए हो सकता है नहीं पढ़े हो, तो at least you can come up with the name or the number of that article and rule and all. Okay, so if you jot that down, it would be easy and relevant to you. So, Ministry of Truth, let us see what that article is. On April 6, a new power of censorship was born with a Gazette notification. The Ministry of Electronics and IT created the Information Technology, Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code Amendment Rules. This is what we are talking about. 2023 IT Rules authorizes a fact check unit of the central government, fake or false or misleading information in respect of any business of the central government. So it will be censoring all the news about the central government. Now, this Orwellian department will scrutinize any online comments, news reports, or opinions about government officials and ministries and then notify online intermediaries for its censorship. Such intermediaries will not only include the online social media companies but also service providers across a plump layer of the tech stack, including ISPs and file hosting companies. To ensure accuracy, only facts will be stated and the decision on citizen interest will be left to the readers. This is what is going to happen. Only facts will be stated. The rest will be left on the people for their own interpretation of all that. No analysis as such or no personal opinion of anybody could be given on the social media. तो ये scrutinize होगा anything about the central government वाले इस पे news report pe, right? So if this part is understood, we'll move to the second para. Now it is a fact that this committee used its subordinate rule-making power under Section 79 of the IT Act 2000 to create the IT Rules 2023. Now this power is meant to fill in details within the legislative intent and directions of the Supreme Court. तो जितने भी details होंगी वो within का मतलब होता है under में legislative intent and directions of the Supreme Court. The sheer single judgment of the, you can remember this judgment of the Supreme Court also, right? तो इसमें तो तुम्हें काफी कुछ questions GK के भी मिल जाएंगे. Possible है कि वो भी discuss हुए हो. The sheer single judgment of the Supreme Court established that Section 79 and the IT rules require intermediaries to have actual knowledge from a court order or be notified by the appropriate government in relation to the unlawful acts. Right? This is to have actual order or be notified. These are reasonable restrictions under Article 19, Part 2 of the Constitution. However, Article 19(2) does not contain the phrases fake or false or misleading. The IT rules may be read under broader classifications such as public order. मतलब ये सब बेस तो उसी पे हुआ है, लेकिन उस आर्टिकल में 19(2) में fake or false or misleading word were not used. So the IT rules may be read under broader classifications such as public order, security of the state, and morality. Nevertheless, this is what may be read as. है ना? तो ये हो गया उनका पर्सनल ओपिनियन ऑथर का. Nevertheless, any inaccurate or inaccurate statement will not automatically become fake or false or misleading, and not all classes of fake or false or misleading fit within reasonable restrictions, creating an unconstitutional power for government सेंसरशिप मतलब हम किसी भी न्यूज रिपोर्ट को ईदर फेक और फॉल्स और मिसलीडिंग सिर्फ इन तीन कैटेगरीज में नहीं कर सकेंगे. देयर इज अ लॉट टू बी विच विल बी इन द पावर ऑफ द गवर्नमेंट. सेंसरशिप वो किसी भी रिस्ट्रिक्शन के साथ मतलब किसी भी क्राइटेरिया पे रिस्ट्रिक्शन लगा सकेंगे, वो सेंसरशिप कर सकेंगे. The IT Rules 2023 do not define what constitutes fake or false or misleading information, nor do they specify the qualifications or hearing processes for a fact check unit. Right? They do not specify these things also. So, what is the author giving? उसने दिया कि आईटी रूल्स किस सेक्शन के हिसाब से चले हैं, कौन सा लेटेस्ट अभी रूल चल रहा है या क्या, व्हाट आर द अमेंडमेंट्स देयर, right? And now he is giving his opinion also that see fake or false or misleading is not been explained very clearly. So they do not specify the qualifications or the hearing processes for a fact check unit. On the other hand, the rules contain detailed criteria for self-regulatory organizations of gaming platforms. उन rules में क्या है? Criteria for self-regulatory organizations of gaming platforms which also have legal deficiencies. क्राइटेरिया तो एस्टैब्लिश कर ले, लेकिन फिर भी उसमें डेफिशिएंसीज हैं. लीगल डेफिशिएंसीज का मतलब होता है समथिंग दैट दे आर लैकिंग. However, these organizations provide specific requirements for the MeitY certified self-regulation organization, such as qualification criteria and pre-decisional hearing with written orders containing reasons. They provide specific requirement कि ये होना चाहिए. Now, none of these protections exist for a fact-check unit, leaving the union government free to prescribe and alter appointments by the Gazette notifications, as well as establish multiple units. इसने दोनों या तीनों पैराग्राफ्स में यही कहा है कि गवर्नमेंट फ्री है, ठीक है. तो ये डिसीजन उसका खुद का होगा, आर्बिट्ररी होगा कि कौन सी वाली न्यूज रिपोर्ट फेक है, फॉल्स है या मिसलीडिंग है या सेंसर्ड होना जरूरी है. So this is what the author is getting to. So the government is free to prescribe and alter the appointments by the Gazette notifications. The Press Information Bureau's existing unit offers insight into their competence. On December 16, 2020, it labeled an Intelligence Bureau recruitment notice as a hoax, something that is false. But the Information and Broadcasting Ministry refuted the fact check the following day. Refuted मतलब देखो जब बट का यूज है, उसने कहा नोटिस एज अ होक्स, उसे होक्स माना, उसे नकली माना. पर आईबीएम ने क्या किया, इसी बात को रिफ्यूट कर लिया. रिफ्यूट मतलब रिबट कर देना, उसे निगेट कर देना. ये कई बार क्वेश्चंस में भी आता है, right? Which of the following can refute the author's argument? So it is going against, negating. Now this is not an isolated state incident. मतलब एक ही बार हुआ है ऐसा नहीं है ये एपिसोड या इंसिडेंट. Various press publications have documented numerous similar cases. Now when we say this is not an isolated incident, तो isolated का मीनिंग नहीं भी आता है अगर, तो हम इसमें से समझ सकते हैं various और numerous से, right? तो ये इकलौता इंसिडेंट नहीं है, ऐसे सिमिलर इंसिडेंट्स बहुत सारे हो चुके हैं. Now, it is a fact that the IT Rules 2023 were initially released as a draft on January 2, 2023, allowing for public comments until January 17 तक. तो ये जो ड्राफ्ट था ये रिलीज हुआ था January 2, 2023 में. डिस्कशन का टाइम दिया था 17 जनवरी तक, तो पब्लिक कमेंट्स आ सकते थे. And only contained provisions for regulating online gaming companies. However, hours before the consultation deadline, MeitY published a new draft that included fact-checking powers and extended the consultation period. अब उसने और भी कुछ ऐड कर लिया. फैक्ट चेकिंग है कि हम देखेंगे तुम लोग सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के बारे में जो लिख रहे हो वो फैक्ट सही भी है या नहीं है. Now this move raised alarm. तो ये एक वार्निंग साइन थी लोगों के लिए. अब एडिटर्स गिल्ड जो है, गिल्ड का मतलब एसोसिएशन होता है, ठीक है. तो एडिटर्स का जो ग्रुप है, जो एसोसिएशन है, issuing a statement on January 18, urging its recall and stating that determination of fake news cannot be in the sole hands of the government. See, again, they are worried about what? that the government has the sole power over it. उसे पहले भी दो पैराग्राफ में कहा था कि government is free to prescribe anything. Now here also the government, everything is in the sole hands of the government. मतलब अकेले सिर्फ सारी चीजें डिसाइड करना कि फेक है या फॉल्स है या मिसलीडिंग है, ये सारी चीजें डिसाइड करना भी गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में है. तो ये एडिटर्स बोलते हैं कि ये सिर्फ गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में नहीं होगा, होना चाहिए, पर व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन नाउ sees it in this light that everything will be in the hands of the government, क्योंकि सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के बारे में अब अगर सारी चीजें गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में है तो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के बारे में जो कुछ भी वो चाहती है वही होगा सोशल मीडिया पे एज अ न्यूज रिपोर्ट. दैट मीन्स इट कैन सेंसर दोज थिंग्स, दोज न्यूज विच दे डू नॉट वांट टू become public. Now, this DGPub also criticized the proposed amendments on January 19, stated that they assign arbitrary and discretionary power to the government of India. Arbitrary यानी सिर्फ मेरी ही बात चलेगी, सिर्फ मेरा ही ओपिनियन चलेगा, जो मैं कहूंगा वो चलेगा, उसे arbitrary decisions कहते हैं. So this is the arbitrary and the discretionary power with the government. While the Indian Newspaper Society argued on January 23 that the amendments would allow the government to prescribe any criticism of its action. यही बात हो गई कि अगर गवर्नमेंट के हाथ में सब कुछ है तो वो उसके खिलाफ जो क्रिटिसिज्म होगा उसे भी वो बैन कर देगा. Right? So it will not allow any criticism of its actions. Now, to address criticism, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Minister of State MAT, stated on January 25 that they would hold a separate consultation on PIB fact check sometime early next month. ठीक है, एक separate consultation रखेंगे. However, there was no in-person or virtual public consultation or stakeholder meetings. ठीक है, ये सिर्फ उन्होंने कहा कि हाँ हम अलग से एक फैक्ट चेक का डिस्कशन रखेंगे. कब रखेंगे उन्होंने आके पब्लिक में भी नहीं कहा कि हाँ किस दिन रखने वाले हैं और व्हाट इज गोइंग टू हैपन. देयर वाज नो इन पर्सन और वर्चुअल पब्लिक कंसल्टेशन और स्टेक होल्डर मीटिंग. द एडिटर्स गिल्ड मतलब कोई वर्चुअल यानी से वैसे ही कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग वाला वर्चुअल कॉन्फ्रेंस वो भी नहीं था, स्टेक होल्डर मीटिंग भी नहीं हुआ था फिजिकल भी. So the Editors Guild noted on April 7 that what is further surprising is that the ministry has notified this amendment without any meaningful consultation that it had promised. जो उन्होंने कहा था कि एक कंसल्टेशन होगा वो नहीं हुआ. And what did they do? They simply notified the amendment कि ये हमने amendment किया है. This is what they have done, right? So this was only an information there given by the ministry. Now, it is a fact that the IIT Rules 2021 have undergone an amendment every year. The government notified these changes on February 25, 2021, extending powers to online video streaming platforms and digital news portals. These changes faced opposition in the form of 30 writ petitions, with 3 high courts passing stay orders. The Bombay High Court observed on August 15, 2021 that these changes could stave people of the liberty of thought. उनसे लिबर्टी ऑफ थॉट से दूर हो सकते हैं लोग कि उन्हें वो आजादी ना मिले, फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच या थॉट की भी ना मिले. So while the Madras High Court noted on September 17, 2021 that a wink or a nod from appropriate quarters, wink or a nod का मतलब क्या होता है, agreement, may result in the platform being inaccessible to a citizen. वहां तक वो मतलब accessible यानी पहुंच, तो नॉर्मल सिटीजन के पहुंच के बाहर हो जाएगा ये सब. The union government contested these cases, sought their transfer to the Supreme Court. On October 28, 2022, the government introduced further amendments, creating grievance appellate committees that allow social media users to appeal content moderation decisions to the government. तो उन्होंने एक और appellate बनाया, appellate committee बनाई जहां पे वो grievance होगा, right? Now these committees have received 37 appeals and disposed of 19. तो 37 appeals भी हुई, 19 उसको complete भी कर दिया उस केस को, but publishing the decisions नहीं हुआ और disclosing the numbers publicly नहीं हुआ. So these facts will remind us of the Latin maxim. ये सब तो हो गया है और इस सब से क्या जस्टिफाई होता है, क्या सिग्निफाई होता है, right? All this indicates that the government has a freehold on its powers, how it is using its discretionary powers. Nobody is, they are appealing, but how they are settling down the matter is not made public. So these facts will remind us of the Latin maxim loquitur, re ipsa loquitur. So loquitur, you at least have done the root word loque is to speak, right? Ipsa is according to, तो देखते हैं for things that do speak for themselves. ये रहा उसका मीनिंग. ठीक है, तो अगर हमें इसका मीनिंग नहीं भी आता इस लैटिन मैक्सिम का मतलब होता है proverb, a phrase. So you can still understand because the author has given you this that do speak for themselves. So this may change with the IT Rules 2023 authorizing the truth to be determined by the government ministry. ये सारी चीजें चेंज हो सकता है जहाँ पे गवर्नमेंट मिनिस्ट्री will be authorizing the truth. तो इसलिए उसका मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ ट्रूथ का है कि न्यूज मीडिया रिपोर्ट्स जो भी सोशल मीडिया पे आती है रिलेटेड टू द सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट will go through the eyes of the central government. So when it gives a nod, तभी वो पब्लिक हो सकेगी न्यूज. मेन आइडिया इसमें ऐसा नहीं था कि हमें कोई सेंट्रल आइडिया पकड़नी है. इट वॉज अ लेंदी आर्टिकल, वी नीडेड टू अंडरस्टैंड इट. द एसेंस ऑफ इट वुड बी द न्यू आईटी रूल्स क्रिएट अ न्यू पावर ऑफ सेंसरशिप. अगर हमारे पास कभी एसेंस रिलेटेड क्वेश्चन होता है ना, तो उसमें हमें पूरा समरी नहीं देना होता है. उसमें जो बेसिक एक कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड फॉर्म ऑफ द समरी होता है, दैट इज द एसेंस. So this can visibly be stated as the essence. The new IT rules create a new power of censorship, almost similar to a central idea. Central idea of this article would be somewhere related to that, see, the government is getting a free hand or the government would be proved arbitrary because the news report or the release of the news report on the media can be censored, and this power the government had. The central government has this power. Now coming to the vocabulary part. So scrutinize is a simple word, but simple में हम उसको inspect या examine कर सकेंगे. Analyze होता है, वैसे scrutinize यानी बारीकी से देखना, ध्यान से देखना. तो जब हम ध्यान से किसी चीज को देखेंगे तो उसको समझने की भी कोशिश करेंगे, and that would be analysis. So deficiencies, deficits सबको पता है, deficiency को deficit से relate कर सकते हैं. Scarcities, and एक और नया word है paucity. नया word in the sense कि जिसको scarcity और deficit आता है, हो सकता है paucity नहीं सुना हो. That is, you can note that down. It was a hoax means it was a trick or it was a prank. So you have one more good word for it, swindle. Refuted, disproved हो सकता है, countered हो सकता है. Rebutted will be one word that you can note down. So see, why I'm giving you 2 or 3 words this week, इसमें इसलिए दिया है so that जिसको थोड़ा थोड़ा अभी vocabulary better हो गई है, तो you'll get one more good word to write. Guild, and I hope you are noting down the words, क्योंकि वो कहीं ना कहीं जब तुम रिवाइज करोगे तो ये दिमाग में रहने वाले हैं वर्ड्स, इतना तो भरोसा रख लो. गिल्ड इज एसोसिएशन, यूनियन या लीग, कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. प्रोस्क्राइब इज टू बैन, और ये हमने किया भी है. प्रिस्क्राइब एंड प्रोस्क्राइब, डॉक्टर प्रिस्क्राइब करते हैं मेडिसिन या ट्रीटमेंट की क्या होना चाहिए, और प्रोस्क्राइब करते हैं कि क्या नहीं करना है. दैट इज टू बैन और एक्सक्लूड. मैक्सिम मीन्स adage, proverb. You can use it as a one-liner. You can also use the word axiom. AXIOM. Orwellian department. जॉर्ज ऑरवेल की अगर बुक पढ़ी होगी 1984, ठीक है, उसकी एक और बुक है एनिमल फार्म. तो पहले you read books that are of your interest and then you can go for these books, a little serious ones where, but now all that what he said in the book, the way the government is, that is called the Orwellian form of a government. So it's a political system in which the government tries to control every part of the people's lives. A plump layer, plump lady, plump child. Plump का मतलब होता है what do you say, chubby sort of. ठीक है? So plump layer would be a thick layer. Raised alarm is to give a warning. Stay people is to keep the person or the situation away. And this Latin maxim is the thing that speaks for itself. ठीक है, ये तो पैसेज में से ही हमने देख लिया था. So that's all for today. Yes, I hope you have gone through the complete thing instead of cutting corners. ठीक है, थोड़ा सा डिटेल में जाना कभी कभी जरूरी होता है, तो उसको ध्यान से लिखना चाहिए. चलो, थैंक यू एंड हैव अ लॉजिकल वीक अहेड. सी यू टुमारो.